Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out from the Crimean Peninsula to share with you today. We have reports that late last night, Ukraine had fired multiple Atacms missiles into the Crimean Peninsula, targeting air defense systems. So we have an S-400 air defense system in the town of, I'm going to say Zankoy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it could be Zankoy, that was hit and destroyed. So we have an S-400 that was destroyed, and also two S-300 systems near the towns of Yepatoria, I think is how you say it, and Kronomorsk. Two more air defense systems. These are S-300s that were destroyed as well, and these were all in Atacms missile attacks. Looks like we had somewhere around 10 to 12 that were fired from what's being reported. And also, Ukraine said that their military, whenever they launched these strikes, it also shut down some of the radars in the area from these Russian air defense systems. So they were able to confirm that their radars went offline as well. So I'm assuming their radars got hit or damaged in some sort of way. And they also detonated some ammunition depots as well in these attacks. So very big hit to the Russian military down there in the Crimean Peninsula. And apparently, according to Ukrainian forces, they said that none of their missiles were intercepted by the enemy's highly effective air defense systems. So apparently all of these were able to make it in and strike their targets, which is why we've got for sure one S-400 system and two S-300 air defense systems that were taken out. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you some information here that we're going to go over. And also I've got some stuff on X to show you. And also we've got another story that's that kind of ties into this, talking about the fact that it looks like the Russians may be pulling their air defense units away from Crimea, indicating here that they may not be paying attention to Crimea as much anymore, and maybe they don't have a reason to defend it as much, and they're starting to move them over to the Belgorod region. So I'm going to show you some information about that here in just a moment too. But let's go ahead and get right into this. I've got a report here on Reuters for you. It says Ukraine says it hit Russian air defense systems in occupied Crimea. This just coming out today, June 10th, 2024. Ukraine's military said it damaged three Russian surface-to-air defense systems overnight in missile attacks on the Moscow-occupied Crimea Peninsula. The attack struck an S-400 system in Zankoy and two less advanced S-300 systems near Yevpatoria and Kronomorsk, resulting in significant losses for Russian air defenses, Ukraine's general staff said on Monday. Reuters could not independently verify the statement. There was no immediate comment from the Russian Defense Ministry. Local Telegram channels reported explosions near Zankoy and Yevpatoria. Ukraine's military said its strikes shut down radars on the Russian systems and detonated ammunition in the area. None of our missiles were intercepted by the enemy's highly effective air defenses, it said on Telegram account. Russia's repeatedly launched ballistic missiles on southern Ukraine for the Crimea Peninsula that Moscow seized on and occupied in 2014. Over the last 2 years of Russia's full-scale invasion, Ukraine has in turn carried out multiple air and naval strikes on Russian targets on the peninsula and caused significant damage to Moscow's fleet in the Black Sea. So I did hear something about that too. I think there was another ship that might have been hit. I wasn't able to completely confirm that, but I did hear something about Russia's Black Sea fleet. They may have had another warship down there that was targeted and potentially hit. So I'll try to find some more information if I can. We'll do a video on that. But the Crimea Peninsula has just been hammered lately, and we've been doing lots and lots of reports over the last 3 months of the Crimean Peninsula getting hit heavily, and these Atacms missiles have been striking all over the place inside of Crimea. And again, we've got an S-400 system and two S-300s that were taken out in this attack. So very big hit to the Russian military down there, and I'm sure they're feeling the burn on this one. That's why we're going to talk about the fact that maybe it looks like they're starting to pull out of here, okay? They might be pulling out from Crimea and starting to head up to the Belgorod region, because the Belgorod region is starting to get hammered now too. Okay, so I want to show you this too. I've got a couple reports here to go over with you. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So this is on X, okay, from Igor Sushko. Ukraine reports successful Atacms strikes on Russian air defenses in occupied Crimea. An S-400 system, two S-300 systems, and 4 radars were hit with at least 10 Atacms missiles across the peninsula. None of the Atacms were intercepted by Russia. So look at that. That shows that either their air defense systems are not as capable of shooting down these Atacms, or maybe they don't have enough coverage. I don't know, but from what I have seen, whenever Ukraine launches any kind of attacks, even with the HIMARS, it looks like these S-400s and S-300s are not as capable of shooting many of these down as we would think they are, because Russia claims that these are super advanced, especially the S-400s, very expensive and highly advanced air defense systems, but it looks like these weapons are still able to fly right in and destroy them from what we've been seeing, even the HIMARS. So yeah, there's a little map here that he posted. These three areas that got hit. Okay, so two towns here on the west side of the country, and then one on the northeast up here. So 3 direct hits, 2 S-300s, 1 S-400, and then he's reporting here 4 radars were hit, and there was at least 10 Atacms. I was hearing upwards of 12 or more is what was being reported on some military channels for Telegram for the Russian military. Okay, so upwards of 12 or more. So a pretty major attack with Atacms missiles. And then also right here, this is from the defense of Ukraine. They posted this. Overnight, Ukrainian defense forces carried out a successful missile strike against Russian air defense systems in temporarily occupied Crimea, General Staff UA reports. 1 S-400 division in the Zonkoy area and 2 S-300 divisions near Kronomorsk and Yevpatoria were struck. After the strikes, the immediate shutdown of the S-400, S-300 complexes' radars were recorded. So see, they were able to record immediately that these radars were down. In addition, further detonation of ammunition was observed in all 3 areas. We continue to destroy the enemy. Crimea's Ukraine. So I wanted to show you this. You can see directly from the defense of Ukraine. This is their X page, and they went ahead and reported this as well. So these are the units that were destroyed. Okay, there was 3 of these, 2 S-300s and 1 S-400 again that was destroyed. Now, finally, I want to go over this here with you. Okay, this is an article off of RBC Ukraine. Now, this is talking about the fact that it looks like the Russians are starting to pull away from Crimea. Their air defense units are leaving and starting to head to the Belgorod region, is what I'm hearing. So, yeah, from RBC Ukraine, it says Russian air defense troops ordered to evacuate from Crimea with families, guerrillas report. So this came out today as well. And it says here, air defense servicemen of the Russian armed forces received an order to evacuate families from Crimea. At the same time, the Russian invaders are creating new mobile air defense groups to fight UAVs, the ATESH resistance movement reports. An ATESH agent who is part of the air defense system deployed in the village of Osovny in Crimea, reports receiving a recommendation from commanders to begin evacuating their families to military camps in the southern military district, the report says. According to the guerrillas, this development coincides with a relocation of air defense systems to the Belgorod region, which poses a threat to security in Crimea, leaving it without proper coverage. So look at that, leaving it without proper coverage. So it looks to me almost in a way that they may at least be temporarily abandoning Crimea, pulling many of their air defense units away from Crimea and heading over to the Belgorod region, which is interesting. I don't know if we're going to see some sort of counterattack coming from Ukraine, because we are hearing that the Ukrainians are taking control of that area. They have pushed the Russians away from many of these towns, and they're starting to take control of Vovchansk as well, from what I was hearing. I don't think they have full control over it, but the Ukrainians are taking control of the situation. Many Russians, I've been hearing, have been giving up and surrendering to the Ukrainians. So their attack in the Kharkiv region has completely failed for the most part, from what I'm hearing. And I'm also hearing as well that there may have been a new front starting to open up in the Sumy region, which is right next to Kharkiv, just northwest of there. So at the same time, the Russian armed forces are creating new mobile air defense groups to combat UAVs using ZU-23-2. This indicates a strategic reorientation and preparation for new challenges in defense. While the main attention is being diverted from Crimea, the resistance movement forms. So again, here it is. Main attention being diverted from Crimea. So they're pulling away from Crimea completely, and it makes me wonder if they're just going to give up the Crimean Peninsula. Maybe it's not strategically important to them anymore. I don't know if that's really the reason why. But definitely these reports are indicating that they're pulling their air defenses away from Crimea. So it says here, Russian air defense in Crimea. Guerrillas have discovered radar in Crimea that has interesting technical features. Recently, we reported that the Russian invaders began to move air defense systems to Crimea. Also, the day before, the guerrillas tracked the movement of one of the Russian mobile firing groups on the occupied peninsula. So I don't know. Let me know what you think that what this information means. But from what I'm hearing, lots of people are talking about this on X too, and thinking that maybe this is indicating that that Crimea could fall to the Ukrainians. I don't know if that would happen. That's just kind of what I'm hearing on the surface. But regardless, yeah, that's a big sign. If they're having to pull away their air defense from Crimea, maybe they don't have legitimate concerns down there to protect that land. And maybe it's more important for them to start protecting the Belgorod region, because we know right now that in the Belgorod region, the Ukrainians have permission to start striking that area with using U.S. weapons, Atacms, HIMARS, whatever they want to use. Even UK, Germany supplied weapons. Other countries are allowing them to do the same thing. And I just reported, I think it was yesterday, we had a Ukrainian fighter jet that fired some sort of munition that could have possibly been a Western weapon, like a UK Storm Shadow missile or a French Scalp missile. It could have been something coming from the west that was fired and destroyed like a Russian command node in the Belgorod region. So we're starting to see more attacks in that area. And I think this war over here near the Belgorod and Kharkiv area is going to really start to pick up and become more explosive. And maybe that's why they're starting to move these air defense units over there as the main bulk of the fighting is starting to build up in that region. So let me know what you think down below, though. This is very interesting news. Pretty big strike on the Crimean Peninsula coming from the Ukrainians. Let me know what you think. Share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comments section. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.